Good evening, Bruins. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Andrew Bottom, and I am the Global Internship Program Associate Director here at UCLA, and very excited to speak with you more about our engineering program in the Kansai region. And I am very excited to introduce one of our colleagues who represents our on-site partners in Kansai, and I'll throw it over to Nathan. You want to introduce yourself, Nathan?
Oh yeah, sorry, it was cut off a little bit. Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Nathan, and I'm part of the admissions team here at CRC Asia, and it's very nice to have you guys here today. Oh, and my colleague Yanin just also happened to join here as well.
Hi
Hi.
Yeah.
everyone, I'm Yanin, head of admissions. Nice to meet you.
And so
Mm.
CRTC Asia is going to be the team that is in charge of the placement process as well as taking care of our students on site in the Kansai region. And so I'll first start today by giving you a little overview of the program itself, eligibility, the application process, and then the exciting part, obviously, of today is focusing on what it would be like to intern in the Kansai region, examples of past internship placements. We'll end with some focus on the program costs and funding, and then we will have a Q&A to wrap up today's session. So, first of all, the Global Internship Program in the Kansai region. So this is one of our stellar programs for our engineering cohort. Unlike some of our other Global Internship programs, we only have engineers from UCLA going here specifically, but we've had a really large cohort in the past. And so you'll see some of the example photos of our past students here represented on the screen. The GIP program in the Kansai region occurs during the summer. It includes 8 weeks of an on-site internship and 10 weeks of online coursework. So in terms of this upcoming summer, it'll be June 25th through August 19th of physically being in the Kansai region, and then online coursework June 22nd through August 28th. Now, just to kind of clarify too, when we say the Kansai region, we're meaning the towns of Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe, Japan. So a little bit later, we'll discuss kind of where you might be placed in terms of housing, but those are kind of the three cities that generally our students will find themselves interning in. All students who are enrolled in the program will be enrolled in a mandatory Engineering 195 internship course, which is for 4 units. And there's the option to add the CESC 130 intercultural communication course in the global workplace. These are academic internships, so they are non-paid, and students will generally be interning 4 days per week, approximately 32 hours per week. So how that usually works is that the coursework that you will have, as mentioned, will include, usually for engineering, a mandatory 1 hour discussion section that will occur each week for that program. And so that day of the week will really depend. Sometimes we've had it on a Friday, sometimes we've had it during the work week, but just in the morning. So it will depend this year of what works best with the engineering department. And so that is kind of synchronous learning, whereas the CESC 130 course is asynchronous, where those lectures are pre-recorded and you're doing response papers, each week for that particular course. Now, in the Kansai region, we do kind of have some career sectors that are highlighted here, and we'll go further into these in the presentation a little bit later, but areas such as bioengineering, chemical, computer engineering, computer science, electrical are more strengths of the Kansai region with the internship placement network that CRTC Asia has. And then some of the areas that are more limited are material science and industrial engineering. The coursework as well, just to make an additional note, the engineering course is, although it's mandatory, it does not apply towards any engineering major or minor requirement. So it's 4 units of upper division coursework towards graduation. The optional course, however, does apply towards the social analysis GEs for any engineering majors or minor, or any engineering majors. So if you have fulfilled that GE in your engineering major, you can do so with the CSC 130 course. Now, to be eligible for the program, you must be an engineering major or minor. The only caveat to that is that if you are in a relevant major, let's say you're not in the School of Engineering, but let's say you are a computer science and linguistics major, for instance, or maybe you're a mathematics major, but you have some sort of, experience or technical skills, with, let's say, computer science or engineering. Then on a case-by-case basis, we do allow non-school of engineering majors and minors to participate in the program. If you kind of fall into that category, just send me an email directly, and I'll have my information on the end of the presentation today, and I can just kind of clarify in advance of applying whether you would meet the requirement. You must have a 3.0 GPA and 90 units by spring 2026 and be in good academic standing. If you are a first-year student or a transfer student, you don't have a UCLA GPA upon applying for the program, that's okay. You can still apply, and then the first week of the winter term in January, we will verify that you have a 3.0 from your fall term grades. And then for the 90 units, you can use AP units or transfer units to apply towards that total of 90. You just need it by the end of spring term before you would depart on the program. So I would say you should have approximately 45 units as of going into this fall already completed to be able to reasonably get to those 90 by the end of spring. All right, now in terms of the application process, the application is quite simple. It's a biographical application on our website. There are 2 documents though you are adding to the application. One is your up-to-date resume, so make sure to include any relevant experience, whether it's professional, leadership, club, any technical skills that you have. Make sure to include that on your resume and be as up-to-date as possible. And then there's a statement of purpose that you can find under the Steps to Apply tab on the Kansai region page, or it's also going to be located in the application itself as you are filling it out. And so that statement of purpose, you'll discuss a little bit more of yourself as an applicant. What are your career goals and interests? Why do you want to intern in the Kansai region? What attracts you to doing an internship there? What sort of experiences are you looking to get out of the internship? And what makes you unique? What do you bring to an internship site that would make a potential supervisor want to hire you? After you apply, we'll verify you meet the minimum requirements for the program, and then you will be sent along to do a application interview with CRCC Asia. So that will be a 30-minute interview conducted on a rolling basis. It must be completed by the end of December. And so I always encourage students, although you can technically apply between now and the November 24th, if you do apply earlier, you're able to conduct the application interview at an earlier time. 80% of students, I would say, tend to apply on that last weekend or that last day before our applications are right as our applications are due, which means oftentimes the application interview is occurring in December, could be 10th week, finals week, your vacation. So I always encourage students to do it earlier just to get it out of the way. And we'll talk a little bit later kind of about the placement process. So before we do that, I want to throw it over to Yanin and Nathan to talk more about CRCC Asia and your experience in the Kansai region.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Andrew, for your information earlier. So before we come, so my part is gonna be a quick overview about the Kansai region. But before we delve into that, I want to share with you about the milestones that shaped who we are today, so that you can understand CRCC Asia's mission and impact. So CRCC Asia began in 2006, and we were founded as China Internship Program, setting the foundation for connecting young professionals and global opportunities. And then just 2 years later, in 2008, we officially became CRCC Asia, marking the beginning of a new chapter of expansion and innovation. And over the next decade, we grew steadily, launching new programs, opening offices across Asia, and earning international recognition. And fast forward to 2019, we launched our Osaka and Seoul internship programs, broadening our reach beyond China and bringing even more diversity to our internship destinations. And despite the global crisis challenges in the years that follow, CRCC Asia continued to thrive. And by 2024, we launched our internship program location in Mumbai and introduced International Experiences program. And as we look ahead to 2025, the journey continues with the launch of our Bangkok destination and Shanghai programs. And we are actively focusing on expanding our internship program location to other Asian and European countries as well. So from one organization in 2006 to continent-wide network today, CRCC Asia's growth is a testament to our mission, empowering the next generation through meaningful international experiences. CRCC Asia, as it reminds us why we keep expanding, evolving, and creating opportunities for students and young professionals around the world. All right. So now to the program highlights. So when you participate in our internship program, we guarantee that you will have an internship placement, and we don't just find you any placement. We will match you with the one that truly fits your interest and your objectives. This way, we can ensure that you will gain real industry insights and foundations into your pursuing career fields. About visa application, you are responsible by yourself that you have to apply for a visa, but make sure to check your eligibility on the original Japan visa application website to see if your nationality is visa exempt to enter Japan. But during which, if you have any trouble for the visa application, please feel free to email us, and we will provide any support where needed. Career Bridge, it is an award-winning professional development hub that helps you make the most out of your internship. So through it, you will get access to career training, skill building resources, and guided reflection tools to help you understand your strengths and boost your employability. So basically, it will help turn your internship into real career growth through reflection. So, all right, everyone, I'm very excited to give you an overview about the Kansai region. So it's one of Japan's most fascinating and culturally rich areas. It is located in the western part of Japan's main island, Honshu, and Kansai is often called the historical heart of the country, and is home to major cities like Kyoto, Osaka, and Kobe, each offering its own unique and are also the cities where our program usually run. Kyoto is famous for its timeless beauty, filled with temples, shrines, and gardens that showcase Japan's deep cultural heritage. And you will also find some of the country's best traditional cuisine here, which I will have some suggestions for you later on. And then there's Osaka. From its vibrant nightlife, street food, and friendly locals, it's also a major economic hub and home to Universal Studios in Japan, making it both lively and dynamic. And of course, Kobe, a scenic port city surrounded by mountains and sea, known for its world-class food and growing reputation as the engineering hub of the region, where innovation and startup thrive. So what's special about Kansai is how connected everything is. The cities are close together and linked with efficient rail and road networks. So it's very easy to live in one city and work and study in another. So something many internship professionals here actually do. So whether you're drawn to the culture, to the modern life, or career opportunities, Kansai offers a perfect balance of tradition, innovation, and connection. So on the next part, Andrew and Gannon will let you know what about the placement process and some of the program details.
Excellent. Thank you, Nathan. So just wanted to highlight, and then I'll pass over to Yanin, but to highlight that on our website, you will see a sample internship placements tab. On this tab, we kind of mention some of the strengths and some of the limited areas that you can find placements in terms of the fields of engineering. And you will also notice there's a sample internship placements guidebook. This guidebook has a few examples of what past students have done on this program. Please note it is not an exhaustive list. We've had a lot of students who have had the opportunity to conduct the internship in the Kansai region. And so we've just selected a few examples just to give you an idea of what you could possibly be doing, but is not, again, an exhaustive list of their network. They're also always bringing on new relationships and new companies. So also depending on your career goals and interests, there might be something unique and new that they've brought on in terms of this last year of their partnerships. The way the placement process works, or I guess the application process, and then maybe I'll throw it over to Yanin for the placement process, is that, as I had mentioned earlier, you'll apply by November 24th, and then you'll conduct your application interview on a rolling basis. In January is when we release decisions of who has been accepted to the program. Only at that point is there a financial commitment required. So you can apply, conduct the application interview, and if for whatever reason it's not a great match for you, even if you're accepted, you can decide not to commit at that time. So the great point is there's no financial commitment to apply up front. In mid-February is when you'll financially commit, whether it's out of pocket or submitting financial aid paperwork to state that you are planning to go on the program. And then at that point, March through June is when the internship interview and placement process occurs. And so with that said, I'm going to have Yanin discuss a little bit more about that process.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, I think you have a better idea now of how our processes work. Once you have been enrolled into the program, you can rest assured that you're in good hands. We really do take into consideration all of your preferences, your experiences, your career goals, as Nathan mentioned. We collect all of this during the application interview and really integrate it into our search. So, in terms of the placement search, we will be arranging the interviews for you. You don't have to worry about that at all. Just keep a close eye on your inbox and we'll be reaching out to you. We'll most likely do one company at a time to make sure you really have enough time to study the company, get to know them. Japan has a very unique way of doing their recruitment process. They will require a specific CV format, a video introduction. We will send you a guide on how to do all of that. We're there to support you so you don't have to worry. We'll make sure that your profile is competitive and then we'll arrange the interviews. After the interview is when the actual role itself will be finalized. As Nathan mentioned, we really do focus on customizing each internship for each student. So you won't be really doing the same internship with anyone at all. It really is a customized experience for you. We will also be sending you a placement information plan once your internship has been secured. So you have that on hold before you arrive in Kansai and you know exactly what to prepare in terms of like the working hours, what the dress code is, everything you would need to know about the company. After that, our team will be reaching out to make sure that you're ready and you have all the pre-arrival logistics down. For example, your flights, your visa, if you need one. The Japan Fast Track will send you all the information as well as do another round of webinar to make sure that you're ready for that. And about 3 to 4 weeks before your start date is when you'll have the full information of your pre-arrival and accommodation details. All right, you do already have a hold of some role example. I've attached here actual companies that we work with that are currently active. So please feel free to take a look and see if any of them fall under your interest. We work with a lot more, so these are only just a few for this webinar. I'd be happy to share more as well. Nathan and I post call if you would like to know more about like any other host company examples. We'd be more than happy to provide that to you specifically for your own interest as well. But generally, if you're into like genomics or startups, we also have a lot of bioinformatic companies, but they do have an engineering base or like any AI driven roles. Those are also available. If you're more into software development, AI, 3D technology, that's also something that we have. Or if you're into robotics or mechanical, electrical engineering, software development, video games is also something that we have in our list. And of course, it's Japan, so we might have a few interests there. And of course, renewable, sustainable energy. Kansai is also really known for their green tech field as well as computer science roles. So yeah, these would be some of the rules, and you can definitely review them through the recording as well. Up next, I would just like to share um, there we go. So a review of a student that we hosted in 2024. So the student did actually applied for engineering, but they were very focused on computer science as well. So it was an integrated internship for both fields. They interned at an advanced AI research institute that was based in Kyoto, and they also have some parenting companies based elsewhere as well. So these are some of the tasks that they had done throughout their program, and they had rated the internship placement to be nearly 5 out of 5 for all aspects. So yeah, if you would like to take a closer look at that, or if you would like to have any more reviews, you can always reach out to CRCC's team. We'd be more than happy to provide that. Or if you would like to talk to alumni on our end as well. One of our students that did our program for the engineering program this past summer is also our current global ambassador, so she'd be more than happy to talk to you directly as well. All right, so you probably are curious as to what the accommodation will look like in Kansai. With this region, it's actually very special because we have three different accommodation types depending on where you'll be located. As mentioned, there's Kobe, there's Osaka, and there's Kyoto. So depending on where your internship is, that is where we will be dropping you off from the airport and also where your accommodation will be based on your internship placement. You are guaranteed a really nicely furnished accommodation. It will always be convenient, close to public transportation. We always try our best to integrate a kitchen and laundry area for you as well, making that 2 months while you're in Japan much more comfortable and convenient. They'll always have Wi-Fi, utilities, and Japan as a whole is a very big country, so commute time on average is about 60 minutes. We'll make sure that it's within that range or at the most 90 minutes. It's nothing, I know it sounds a bit large, but that's actually the average commute time in Japan. And of course, we'll share all the details about a month prior to your start date, but I'm just going to show you some accommodation types now, starting with the first one. The first one, mostly in Kyoto and Osaka, you can expect a more like hotel apartment style. What's great about this is you actually would get room service once a week, so that's also a plus. For this situation, though, there would most likely be a shared room with two single beds, and you'll be having a roommate. But once again, you'll have all the kitchen, the fridge, everything you'll need for amenities. Up next, we have some pictures here that will show you. This is the kitchen. As you can see, because it's a apartment hotel, you also have these like lovely amenities that you won't have to bring. And here's a bigger glimpse of the whole room itself. Um, for accommodation number two is called a shared house, but in reality, it's not really a house. It's more like an apartment style. For this one, you will get your own private room, and it will be a single bed. You'll have a closet, chair, air conditioning, but everything else will be a shared space, like a common area with a shared kitchen, shared living room, which we'll show in the next pictures. For example, this one would be the room, the bedroom. And then up next we have this is the common space. Like if you want to cook some meals and have a nice meal together, this is the common space. And then of course the laundry area as well. And you also get your own gym inside, so that's really convenient. For accommodation number three, you could also get your very own apartment. So, for example, a studio apartment. This one, they will be single beds. Again, full kitchen, full toilet, air conditioning, everything that I mentioned earlier. And we can take a look at how it looks like. For this, it'll be your very own apartment. So, a very nicely convenient studio apartment. Again, there's the kitchen, relatively small, but gets the work done. And yeah, everything is really nicely renovated, the systems, bathtub.
And I was just going to mention that. So in terms of applying for the program, we do guarantee a double room. There are occasions that you students are able to, if the situation for that year, we're able to get single rooms, then we're able to provide that. But just wanted to set the expectation that it usually is double is the assumption. But in certain years, we've been able to do singles depending on the number of students that we're accepting and the size of the
Mhm.
other CRTC Asia groups that are also doing the program that summer.
Definitely. So we will definitely see how it goes there. And we'll also keep in mind your preferences during your forms that you fill out on what your preferences would be in terms of your roommate and housing situation. Up next, we will also be talking about some program events. Nathan, you can take this away.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Yanin. Thank you, Andrew. So yeah, there's me again. So during your program period, as I already mentioned earlier, during the program highlights part, you will get a lot of opportunity to participate in the events and activities that we organize for you along the way. Because when you take your internship, you will be working full time like employees. So we figured that we should also help you with the most important part of adult life, work-life balance. So these events can range from business, cultural, and community events. So for example, our business events might include site visits to factories, companies, or universities. Cultural events could be things like cooking classes, making traditional food, or exploring Japanese traditions, such as kimono and tea ceremony. And for the community events, you might get involved in volunteering or local charity projects as well. So on the next slide, yeah, there we go. So yeah, these are some of the events that we have for you. For example, kimono and tea ceremony experience, so that you will be immersed into like acting like you are Japanese. And Nishiki Market food tour. If you're a foodie, you really gonna want to participate in the food tour as well. All right. And we also have Cup Noodles Museum Osaka for people who really love to eat noodles. And Fushimi Inari Thousand Torii Gates if you are a fan of animes, or if you watch a lot of news about Japan, I think you would know about this location. It's very iconic and breathtaking for you to take photos. So just a quick note, these are the examples of the events that we organized in the previous years. The exact activities may vary depending on the season and the availability of the location. But rest assured that there will be plenty of interesting and meaningful experiences for you to take part in and outside of your internship. And yeah, that's from me. I hope you are excited as I am. I'm sorry. Okay. I totally forgot about this slide. So yeah, earlier I told you that I would have some suggestions for you about some of the dishes that you have to try when you stay in Kansai. So first of all would be tonkatsu, fried pork rice. Some of the chefs may add curry in it, and it's just a very delicious dish. Tonkatsu ramen, this is my favorite. Onigiri, a simple but also holds a lot of meaningful to it. Sukiyaki, a spectacular dish as well. Yakitori, you have to try this. And tempura, so good that even just seafood allergy cannot resist it. But yes, these are some of the dishes that you have to try when you stay in Kansai or in Japan in general. Very delicious. And yeah, it holds a lot of tradition meanings to it as well. So yeah, that's it from my part. I hope you're excited as I am about everything that we have covered so far. So now let's move on to the part that everybody's curious about, the program costs
Thank you, Nathan.
and what you should
Appreciate.
keep in mind about the budget. Yeah, Andrew?
Of course. Thank you so much, Nathan, for sharing. So as we go over to discuss the program cost and funding, you'll notice on the Kansai region brochure on our website, so the web page, we'll have a cost and funding tab. Under there, you'll see what the program fees are for 4 units and 8 units. You'll see on that budget too a little I button that you can click on that says everything that's included. So things like your tuition, your accommodations, your airport pickup, your international health insurance. So that's what's billed directly onto your Bruin bill. Things that are not billed are estimated costs. So your cost for meals and incidentals, transportation, your round-trip airfare. So those are all really estimates depending on your own spending habits or when you purchase your plane flight. So just note that that can vary depending on your own spending costs, but financial aid does take into consideration the full total cost of the program, both billed and non-billed expenses. So if you are a student who receives financial aid, please note that your financial aid does travel with you if you do study abroad. So the great thing to note is that all you have to do is complete your 26, 27 FAFSA and DREAM Act application by the priority deadline, which is usually in March. There's an additional form you would complete on the Global Internship Program application portal. And then you must also be enrolled in 8 units so that you're eligible for aid. It's important to note that for all summer programs, there is no Cal Grant offered. And so it is generally a higher loan amount for the summer. So I always like to just let students be aware that your financial aid package will look different in the summer just because there's no Cal Grant offered. And so for these internship programs, you're considered, I would say, a part-time student because you're in 8 units, not in 12 or 15 units because you're also working full-time. And so just be aware that there is usually a larger loan component for the financial aid for the summer. That said, we do have a lot of scholarship opportunities. So for scholarships, we have some specifically for students that are applying for the Global Internship Program, some like the Terasaki that are only for students studying abroad in Japan, which is only a few programs in the summer. So it's a really great opportunity for UCLA students. The Wang Middle Income Scholarship based on your FAFSA, If you're a Pell Grant recipient, you can receive funding from the Gilman International Scholarship, usually about $3,000 to $5,000 per summer, and that's a great opportunity to receive funding. And I would say about 30 to 40% of our GIP alumni who have applied for that scholarship have actually received it. So our GIP students have been amazing in getting that scholarship. All scholarships will be opening after the application deadline of November 24th. So just be aware you don't have to worry about applying now. We'll send out the opportunities to you after you've applied for the program. And other than that, we really just hope that you'll join us this upcoming summer in Japan. We have a lot of great student content on our website that you can check out in the Student Experience tab. We also have some returnees that you can also touch base with to get a student perspective of what it was like to intern in the Kansai region and at their internship site. So if you do want to speak with a alumni, you can click on this QR code here. We have a specific alumni, Felipe, who was there last year in the Kansai region, but we also, depending on what your interests are, maybe able to connect with some other students that were on the program so that you can get some feedback on the areas of interest that you have that you want to hear from your peers. Otherwise, the last things to note is that starting next Monday, we'll have drop-in advising. If you just want to drop in and ask a question from 3 to 4 on Monday and 9 to 10 on Thursday, this will occur until the close of the GIP application. So for the following 3 weeks, you can do drop-in advising and we can connect with you. And then lastly, if you want to reach out to me directly, feel free to send me an email. My email is abottom@ieo.ucla.edu, and I'm more than happy to answer you over email, your question, or set up a one-on-one appointment to discuss your application, or even after you apply, anything you're concerned about, financial aid, scholarships, whatever it might be. And with that said, I just want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to stop the recording and open it up to questions.